Hey there and welcome back to XCOM 2. My name is Pete and today we complete another episode of our Legend Ironman walkthrough of XCOM 2 War of the Chosen. Last time we left off after investigating the Codex brain coordinates and discovering the Psionic Gate, a mission that saw Grenadier Typhoon pull off an absolutely ridiculous performance, and crucially it also saw our SPARK Julian get heavily injured. As a result, today we hopefully have the opportunity to complete a mission with him starting at less than half health, which would then unlock another achievement, provided of course he survives the mission. And so let's hop into the world map now, where we will first be greeted by a 2-point reduction to the Avatar project, a direct result of us completing a plot mission last time around, and giving us some much needed breathing room.
The aliens will no doubt have to deal with the loss of this unusual artifact, Commander. I trust you will work to uncover its purpose.
Our next rumor then rewarding us with intel, and that is something we could definitely use at this point. We do after all still have to make contact with quite a few regions.
Avenger plotting new course.
In the meantime, the bond training for Specialist Zucchini and Templar Logan will also complete, but we're not going to plug anyone else into the training center just yet. And just like that, it looks like today's mission has arrived, so let's take a look at what we can choose from. In West Asia, we would be fighting only Advent troops countering the Loyalty Among Thieves Dark event, not one that I would consider immediately threatening, and we also don't really need the supplies. Still, it would be nice to not have our next supply drop be cut in half, which we could prevent with the new Arctic mission here, a mission that would have us go up only against the Lost and which would reward us with intel. From Western Europe then we could acquire a Colonel level specialist, which would definitely be powerful, but I just don't feel like the Viper Round Stark event is worth it, so we will be going after the intel instead, and fighting the Lost on this mission might also allow us to unlock another achievement.
Setting course for the Arctic territories.
So, this right here then our squad for today, led by Tsunami. We're also bringing Twitchy back for this one, she hasn't been with us for quite some time. And of course, Julian with a meager 4 hit points is coming along too. This mission here should make it pretty easy for him to unlock that achievement. Mox, Helaboris and Schwaminian are rounding out the roster, and with that I think we're good to go. Weapon attachments and PCSs have of course as always been shuffled around, but I think killing 24 Lost is not going to be that big of a challenge.
Ranger deployed.
In position to drop.
Our readings indicate that Advent just powered up some kind of psionic transmitter in this area. And if they're assuming no one knows about it yet, it shouldn't be that well guarded. If we can take it down quickly, Advent's operations across this entire region will be in disarray. Advent has constructed a psionic transmitter in this area, tied directly into their primary network. Our intel suggests destroying it while it's still connected will severely damage their linked systems. Plant the explosives before they have a chance to pull the plug.
Right, and with that our mission objective is clear I think. You can see it in the top right corner, we have 6 turns to get to the transmitter. Along the way we will find some power relays to buy us a bit more time. We will see whether or not we need it. For now at least, let's start scouting using Tsunami's grappling hook. And for now at least, she does not detect any enemies, so let's keep advancing a little bit further.
Confirmed. We're near the objective.
Our readings indicate that relay is feeding energy directly into their network. If you can destroy it, it may disrupt their efforts to isolate the transmitter.
Yes, in other words, shooting these power nodes will add 1 extra turn to the timer in the top right corner. However, it will also blow our concealment, so it would be best to refrain from doing so for the time being. Instead, we can grapple once again, this time with Mox, and then move him up a bit further to the other side of the roof.
I will move.
This then also spots our first group of Lost, 5 of them huddled around another power node. But for the moment, I think we'll just leave them there. For what we have planned here today, we need to locate a few more of them first. as we are actually aiming to unlock an achievement for killing 15 Lost in a single turn. So for now, let's just assemble our squad on the roof and see what our enemies do.
Orders confirmed. On the move.
Right, looks like that first pot of 5 has remained exactly where they are, so let's keep moving here to hopefully detect a few more, and to me the highway overpass here looks like a good place to go. And indeed, Skirmisher Mox spots not 1 but 2 groups of Lost, 3 on the overpass itself and a further 5 on the other side on the ground, which brings our total of spotted enemies up to 13, but keep in mind the achievement requires us to kill 15 of them in one turn, so we should not engage before we have not spotted at least one more group. So for now, let's work on putting everyone onto the high ground. We are dashing here with everyone, which then brings our turn to an end. And once again, all 3 groups of Lost remain motionless and exactly where they are, so let's inch forward a bit with Tsunami here, which should at least give us line of sight to the transmitter.
Moving on target location. Objective sighted.
That's a confirmed visual on the transmitter. Plant the X4 charges before they can cut it off from the network.
Right, apart from spotting the transmitter, we have also located 3 more Lost, bringing the total up to 16 now, and I think if we plan things out a bit, we should be able to take out 15 of them with headshots. That is the important thing about this achievement, by the way. It's not enough to just kill them, which we could obviously do in various ways. No, we have to land precisely 15 headshots, and that also excludes abilities like the sharpshooter's face-off, for example, so we'll have to kill these Lost one shot at a time.
I'm on it.
Right, so once again our enemies have not moved and we are down to 3 turns on the timer. However, if things go according to plan, then we will only need 1 more turn to unlock the achievement, so I think we should be fine. Still, I think it would help us if these Lost came a little closer, so let's use Tsunami's lightning hands to shoot one of the power relays here. This will break our concealment and activate all enemies in range.
Well done. As we had hoped, the network separation has been temporarily delayed.
They're as weak as ever. Efficiency is my specialty. Will the death of this one change anything?
Okay, so something a little unfortunate just happened. As you saw, Julian just took out 3 Lost with reaction shots despite not being on Overwatch. That is a direct result of his Hunter Protocol ability, which has a 33% chance to trigger a free reaction shot each time an enemy or an enemy group is uncovered. And unfortunately, the only time we don't need Julian to kill anything, it triggers on all 3 groups and also results in 3 kills. Kills that sadly do not count as headshots for the purposes of the achievement. So at the moment we only have 13 enemies left in the vicinity, but since we are revealed now, we have no other choice but to start taking them out. So let's begin things with Tsunami and her pistol, which quickly gives us the first 4 headshots.
Well, how about that?
Afterwards then we'll drop down off of the highway with Mox to activate the group by the container over here. This gets 5 more enemies moving, but unfortunately not all of them closer to us. Still, it is enough for Mox to make use of his expanded magazine. He can now take out 5 enemies in a row, which already brings us up to 9 headshots in total. But again, to unlock the achievement we will need to find more enemies, and on this turn.
We take from the Elder stock. I am almost out of ammunition.
And we are hoping to do so with Tsunami, who once again has a free grappling action here. Unfortunately, moving her onto the rooftop does not yet reveal anything, but it does put her in position to give us headshot number 10.
You know that was good.
Afterwards, then we will move her to the other side of the roof.
Seems doable.
And as I had hoped, that reveals more Lost. In this case, all of them. For the mission total of 24, we were only missing 8 more, and we have just found them. Now, this actually puts us in a bit of a tricky situation here, as Tsunami can actually only take care of 3 of them from her current position. But then again, we also have 4 more soldiers who have not yet acted at all, including Ranger Helaboris with access to run and gun, so I think we should be able to handle this. And speaking of Helleboris, he is up next with the aforementioned run and gun, which we can now use to dash him all the way to the other side of the building. And we only need 2 more headshots here to unlock the achievement, so let's have our ranger go to work. Alright, beautiful, achievement unlocked, and at this point we actually only have 4 more enemies left on the entire map. Most of them, however, do have a substantial number of hit points, which is why we are now sending in Twitchy, who can deliver at least 8 points of damage per shot, and who should therefore be able to easily take care of the 3 nearest to her. Now that leaves us with only 1 more lost, who we can currently not even see. It is standing right at the corner of the building over here though, and was revealed multiple times during Tsunami's shots. So let's take it out using Julian's Bombard ability.
We're not picking up any other contacts. Get those charges deployed.
And there we are, that's all 24 enemies on the map defeated, all of them in 1 turn, and we have not even used up all of our actions. That means that we can now also still comfortably dash with Schwaminian, which gets him right into the X4 planting spot. He is out of actions to actually plant it though, so let's give him an extra one with teamwork. However, we are not going to use that to finish the mission right here and now. Instead, with 4 more turns left on the timer, I think we can more than afford to hack the Advent Watchtower over here. And of course, we will not pass by a 97% chance to recover a small cache of alien alloys. Of course, now that all enemies are defeated, going for the large cache would have been entirely risk-free, except of course for the 78% chance of not getting anything out of it. And as you probably know by now, I like to play things the safe way. And so we can now simply end our turn, watch the timer tick down once more, and then switch over to Schwaminian again, who can now plant the X4 charges and finish the mission.
Signal confirmed. X4 charges are active. That transmitter is history. Good work, Commander.
And there we are, a flawless mission indeed, and the Running on Fumes achievement is now also unlocked. Both of them are actually pretty rare. According to my Steam stats, only about 5% of players have these, and as you saw today, they do indeed take a bit of a setup and the right situation.
If anything, I fear we are making it easier for them to catalog our people.
Like jealous children, these radicals seek to strip us of the wondrous gifts provided by the elders. Though we might pity their ignorance, we will not allow such incursions to remain unchallenged. Today's setback is the prelude for tomorrow's victory.
I doubt we've seen the last of Valen's little experiment, Commander. Best stay on our toes. It could show up again at any time.
Alright, so here we are. No promotions, Tsunami and Mox are tired, and also no loot worth mentioning, except maybe for the alloys we acquired as a result of the hack.
Excellent work, Commander. Your efforts continue to bolster the resistance movement across the globe.
And indeed, with this Guerilla Op completed, we have secured another month of full income, as well as 93 units of intel, enough to make contact with 1 more region. Before we now continue scanning to acquire even more, let's quickly plug Tsunami and Van Dyke into the training center to advance their bond to level 3. Tsunami is tired anyway and will need a few days to recover. Afterwards, we can then hop back into the world map, where we are presented with another rumor, an interesting one indeed, as it would give us another Guerilla Op. Now, we are not going to pursue that just yet, but if we did, we would then be able to counter one of the 2 remaining dark events.
Avenger plotting new course.
Depending on how long this rumor remains on the map, that might be something to do after we're done intel scanning, but for now, that is what we continue to do.
It is just as I had hoped, Commander.
Shortly after, our improved cannon's research breakthrough also completes, and as a result, our Grenadier's main cannon now deals 1 additional point of damage. And especially for the heavy gunner types, that will be very useful.
I will make that our highest priority.
In the meantime, we can now finally continue unlocking powered armor, a research project that is desperately needed to unlock a few more achievements down the line. At this point then, the psionic training for Psi operatives Esteban, Flores and Matt Lewin concludes. Flores unlocks Soul Steel and Lewin grabs Schism, and of course we want to immediately assign them the next abilities to train. With Matt we can choose from Solace, Fuse and Void Rift, and I think it is now time to give him Void Rift. We saw it in action for the first time last episode, and ideally we have it on both of our operatives. Esteban meanwhile can go for Sustain, giving him a guaranteed safety net should he ever take enough damage to be killed, much like the Advent Priests we have encountered so far. Very powerful if we plan to use him as a tank to soak up damage, and with Julian's health looking dicey at the moment, we might just have to do that. For the moment though, we can simply continue scanning once more. After all, we still have some time.
The path to enlightenment will not come easily for you.
We are then victims to a sabotage by the Warlock, losing one of our unused weapon mods, but chances are it's a low quality one, as all of the good stuff is already safely applied to our weapons.
The Chosen aren't afraid to resort to sabotage tactics if it means slowing down our efforts. We need to work to prevent these attacks before they catch up with us.
Defense facility now operational.
As we then continue to advance time, the defense matrix finishes construction, and thus we have now constructed a facility in every single Avenger slot, unlocking the Shen's Legacy achievement. Now the defense matrix adds 2 turrets to the Avenger to be used in case of an Avenger defense mission. We can staff an engineer in this facility to improve the stats of those turrets, and in War of the Chosen this actually also gives them the squad sight ability, so it's definitely worth considering. Also worth considering is upgrading the facility, although as you can see we currently do not have the necessary power to do so. That can quickly be changed however, as finishing the construction has just freed up engineer Ophelia Morningstar, so let's put her into the power relay over here to give us 5 more units of power. And with those 5 more units we can then purchase the upgrade, doubling the number of turrets from 2 to 4.
Defense facility upgraded.
And should one of the Chosen get close to maxing out their knowledge bar and unlock the ability to launch an assault on the Avenger, we will then also staff an engineer in here, but for the moment neither Assassin nor Warlock are close enough, so let's simply keep scanning.
Alien facility coordinates locked in, Commander.
This then quickly reveals the location of yet another alien facility, adding 1 point of progress to the Avatar project, but for now I think we can more than live with that.
The Elders grow fearful of our actions. Their ambush is a sign of desperation.
Alright, looks like in our next mission we will be extracting our covert action squad. And actually, I would say, to keep things nice and condensed, let's leave that one for the next episode.
Your attempts at subterfuge have failed, and this defeat will be a costly one.
However, to wrap up the year with something nice, we'll have that next episode up in just 2 days, so you won't have to wait long. In the meantime, I hope you enjoyed this one, and if you did, then I would be very happy if you could leave a thumbs up. If you like what I'm doing and want to support me and my channel further, then you can of course also go ahead and subscribe to stay up to date, grab some merch over on shop.petecomplete.com, or check out and maybe even pledge to the Pete Complete Patreon. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.